KREX5 Storm Team. This is your forecast first.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us, Western Colorado. We're going to go ahead and take a look here behind me. I'm standing outdoors on our KREX patio, where these snow showers are continuing to fall for us here in the Grand Valley. I want you to go ahead and take a look here at our America's Mattress Live tower cam right there behind our forecast to go. You can see those gloomy conditions out there. Temperatures 28 degrees clear across the board. Those cloudy conditions will continue, as well as these isolated showers continuing to fall throughout the night. Now tomorrow, as we welcome Wednesday, temperatures still a little bit on the mild side. 40 degrees for us here in Grand Junction, 36 degrees down into Montrose. Those cloudy skies will roll over into our Wednesday with about a 30% chance of some showers. Now the question is, when are these showers going to end? You're now going to have to stick around for a full 7-day forecast for those details.
Now, first on the Western Slope, you're watching KREX5 News at 5.
Good evening. Thank you for choosing KREX5 News at 5. I'm Ivan Fisher. The first phase of President Trump's impeachment trial is underway in the Senate, with both sides arguing over the rules of the process. Senate Republicans announced changes to their rules resolution following pushback from some party moderates. Natalie Brand is on Capitol Hill with the latest.
And Mr. Cipollone,
House managers and the White House legal team have begun making their cases during debate over a resolution to set impeachment trial rules.
Are we here before this great body because since the president was sworn into office, there was a desire to see him removed?
On Article 2, we heard the president, he can do whatever he wants. You want to say that's okay? Then you got to say that every future president can come into office and they can do the same thing.
The resolution will now allow each side up to 3 days to present 24 hours of opening arguments after pushback from moderate Republicans. The House impeachment record will also now automatically be admitted into the evidence.
This is the fair roadmap for our trial.
The McConnell resolution will result in a rushed trial with little evidence in the dark of night.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer will offer amendments requiring witnesses and documents at the outset of the trial, despite the majority leader's threat to table them.
The president's defense team in a legal brief argued both articles, abuse of power and obstruction of Congress, are not impeachable and accused Democrats of, quote, a dangerous perversion of the Constitution.
President Trump weighed in on impeachment while meeting with world leaders in Davos, Switzerland.
That whole thing is a total hoax, so I'm sure it's going to work out fine.
Opening arguments are expected to begin Wednesday afternoon. Senators will leave their electronics in this cabinet and sit silently during the marathon trial proceedings. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
One amendment offered by Senator Schumer to call witnesses has already failed, although Democrats say they plan to offer more amendments. Some moderate Senate Republicans have indicated they are willing to possibly support a motion to call witnesses after opening arguments. Tonight on CBS Evening News with Norah O'Donnell, she will have an interview with the House impeachment managers taking part in the Senate trial. One of those managers is Representative Jason Crow of Colorado's 6th District. Here's a preview of that interview in which Representative Crow explains why he believes President Trump is an immediate threat to this nation and the rule of law, citing the role of American troops in securing European allies, including Ukraine, which is involved in regional conflict.
And if this conflict spills over the borders in Ukraine, it's our men and women in uniform that will have to deal with it. See, the idea that the president would play politics with those servicemen and those women who are in harm's way serving all of us is just too shocking, and no American should allow that to happen.
You can watch the full interview with Representative Crow and other House impeachment managers on the CBS Evening News with Norah O'Donnell coming up right after this broadcast. Bringing it back here locally, the latest trial connected to the murder of a man in Clifton kicks off today, with the focus set on the man accused of moving and burying the body of Kyle Free. Timothy Russman looks nothing like his mugshot today as he sits with his defense team. A clean face and a short haircut have been adopted since Russman's last court appearance earlier this month. Both legal teams are currently working to shrink a pool of over 100 jurors down, since only 80 people can fit inside one of our county courtrooms. 2 trials and a 1 plea deal have already happened in this case that goes back to 2018. Rebecca Walker took a plea deal where she was sentenced to 51 years in prison for second-degree murder. David Castro was sentenced by a jury to 96 years in prison on charges of second-degree murder and conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. The second trial resulted in a not guilty verdict for Nathan Ryan, the man with the closest connection to Timothy Russman. Timothy Russman is heading to trial at the Mesa County Justice Center. Russman is pleading not guilty on charges of accessory to first-degree murder, tampering with evidence, and abuse of a corpse. He's accused of taking Kyle Free's body in a plastic tote and burying it in what's been described as a cowboy grave. Russman is the one who took detectives to the gravesite, providing a vital piece of evidence in all of the cases connected to this murder, as no murder weapon has been found. Crime Stoppers needs your help identifying a thief here in Mesa County. The suspect stole merchandise from Best Buy on 24.5 Road last Tuesday. The female is white, about 5 feet 8 inches tall, medium build, with a tattoo on her left hand. The suspect was last seen carrying a black and white bag with a mint green handle with straps. If you know the identity of the suspect, contact Crime Stoppers at 241-7867. Information leading to this arrest can earn you up to $1,000 in cash, and you will remain completely anonymous. If you love wine, well, this story's for you. The Colorado Association for Viticulture and Enology, also known as CAVE, is hosting VinCo, a multi-day conference to discuss a variety of topics important to our emerging wine region. Local wineries and grape growers attend the conference to learn about the craft of winemaking and network within their industry. KREX5's Jillian McCarthy has the story.
The 10th annual VinCo conference is the largest winemaking and grape growing conference in the region.
It gives folks a really great chance to get together and just hear from top experts, listen to seminars, panel discussions.
Cassidy Scholl, the executive director of CAVE, says over the years she's seen this conference prosper.
To see how far the industry has come and to see how far this conference has come, where we're now expecting about 150 attendees.
Bruce Talbot, one of the local winemakers in attendance, says he looks forward to coming every year.
This is the highlight of the year for the industry to get together and visit with what's going on, what's working, what needs some help.
Over 20 conference speakers from professional winemakers, restaurant owners to viticulturists are speaking at this year's event. One individual presenting at the conference says he hopes attendees take away how important educating consumers is on the significance of Colorado wine.
We have great wines out there. We just need to get that word out to the consumers.
Doug has been working in the wine industry for 40 years. Over the last 5 years, the Wine Board has conducted surveys interviewing consumers about their preferences and buying habits for Colorado wine.
What we've discovered through some tourism surveys is that winery visits tend to add another day to people's stays here in the Western Slope.
This is adding an economic boost to tourism.
That's a lot more money in hotels and in restaurants.
Bruce Talbot says the future of the wine industry looks bright.
Because of agritourism and some of the things that have diversified agriculture in this area, I think we look good for the future.
First on the Western Slope, Jillian McCarthy, KREX5 News.
It's not too late. There's still 2 more days left of the VinCo conference. To find more information about this event, head on over to our website, westernslopenoww.com. Some water customers in the Grand Valley may have to deal with pressure problems for just a few more hours. The Ute Water Conservancy District carried out a planned outage today as the district relocates a portion of its north side transmission main. The outage is impacting several homes in the area of Rapid Creek Road in Palisade, but customers in higher elevations, specifically the Redlands area, might also be experiencing low water pressure or a possible outage. Officials say the project began early this morning and the water situation may continue until 11 p.m. Well, I was out there in it today. You saw her out there in it. I want to bring Star back because I have a few questions. I want to know how much longer what we're experiencing is going to last, and if we hit the night, is all this going to freeze, Star?
Absolutely, Ivan. If you take a look here behind me, we are able to see some of the snow actually starting to stick to the ground. Now, earlier today, this snow was falling. However, once it did hit our floors here in the Grand Valley, we noticed that it was turning into a watery substance, and that's because our floors were not yet cold enough. We need to get below freezing for the snow actually to stick here to our valley floors. I'm going to go ahead and take a look here at our lows for tonight. We're going to reach 28 degrees here in Grand Junction, which is going to give us that bit that we need to actually get that snow to stick. 28 degrees. The cloudy conditions will continue, and this snow is going to continue at about a 40% chance here throughout the night. I want you to take a look at our 24-hour snow totals. Over the next 24 hours, Grand Junction will see close to an inch of snow here to the valley floors. Montrose, over an inch. Over into Aspen, nearly 5 inches, in Glenwood Springs sitting at 7.3 inches. This storm is expected to stick around with us here through the early morning hours of Wednesday. And as we move into Thursday, we will start to see those partly cloudy skies form, and by the time we hit Friday, the sunshine will be right back out. But I'm going to have more of those details for you in a full 7-day forecast, Ivan.
Thank you, Star. Well, with weather like this, I'm bringing her back. Star will have your complete weather forecast. And a Mesa County man saves a fellow snowmobiler in Wyoming backcountry. But first, here's your ski report. We'll be right back.